2024 was certainly a great year for movies, but as ever, it also sadly left us saying farewell to a bevy of named talents who passed away throughout the year. The last 12 months have certainly seen us lose some statuesque, even iconic Hollywood talents. From Oscar-winning veterans with over 50 years of acting work to their names, to on-the-rise talents tragically taken from us far too soon. From actors who appeared in some of the biggest movies of all time, to those who made their name in card-carrying art house fare and everything in between, they all leave behind an incredible body of work for their fans to savour while mourning them. Regardless of their level of stardom, each actor proved to be an enormous credit to the art form, largely elevating just about anything they showed up in. So let's take a breather and take stock of these 20 actors we lost in 2024. Number 20, Bernard Hill. Bernard Hill was of course best known for his performances as Captain Edward Smith in Titanic and King Theoden in the latter two entries into the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Hill brought an unmistakable gravitas to any film or TV show he appeared in, and in particular the two aforementioned blockbuster roles, which without his deeply dignified and unforgettable dramatic work simply wouldn't be the same. Bernard Hill also holds the unique distinction of being the only actor to have appeared in 2 of the 3 films to have ever won 11 Academy Awards, those being Titanic and The Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. Bernard Hill died on May 5th, 2024 at the age of 79. Number 19, Shelley Deval. Shelley Deval immediately cemented herself in the annals of horror history with her sublime performance as the petrified Wendy Torrance in Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. However, she had a storied career outside of horror, known for her many collaborations with legendary director Robert Altman, including 3 Women, for which she won the Cannes Film Festival's award for Best Actress, and a wildly underrated performance as Olive Oyl in his divisive Popeye adaptation. Deval's career slowed down throughout the 1990s, and by the turn of the century she'd largely stopped acting, though left behind an enviable legacy of distinctive work with auteur filmmakers. Shelley Deval died on July 11th, 2024 at the age of 75. Number 18, Donald Sutherland. One of the greatest actors to never win or even be nominated for a competitive Academy Award, Donald Sutherland boasts one of the most richly diverse filmographies of any actor from his generation. Best known for his roles in MASH, Don't Look Now, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Ordinary People, JFK, and more recently endearing himself to younger generations as President Snow in the Hunger Games franchise, Sutherland's unmistakable voice lent immediate authority to any line coming out of his mouth. Whether starring in awards-winning classics or taking a paycheck in a low-rent genre offering, Sutherland always gave 100% to a role, and his presence immediately elevated anything he was in. Donald Sutherland died on June 20th, 2024 at the age of 88. Number 17, Richard Lewis. Peerless stand-up comedian Richard Lewis made a name for himself as an edgy, self-deprecating comic who proved himself a natural actor on screens both small and big. Lewis starred in the sitcom Anything But Love from 1989 to 1992, and remains much loved for his hilarious performance as detestable blowhard Prince John in Mel Brooks' riotous Robin Hood Men in Tights. More recently, Lewis clearly relished playing a fictionalized version of himself on the comedy series Curb Your Enthusiasm, with his spirited final appearances in the show's last season serving as a fitting posthumous farewell to the actor. Richard Lewis died on February 27, 2024 at the age of 76. Number 16, Maggie Smith. It's not hyperbolic to say that Maggie Smith was a genuine institution in her own right, rising to prominence with fated careers on both stage and screen, for which she won 2 Academy Awards, 5 BAFTAs, 4 Emmys, 3 Golden Globes, and a Tony. Smith enjoyed something of a career resurgence for portraying Professor McGonagall in the Harry Potter series, as endeared her to a generation of younger viewers. Not to ignore her wonderfully acerbic performances in the likes of The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel and, of course, Downton Abbey. Few actors can profess to have had the longevity and consistency that Maggie Smith did, turning in routinely brilliant performances across an acting career lasting more than 7 decades. Maggie Smith died on September 27, 2024, at the age of 89. Number 15, James Earl Jones. Where to even begin with James Earl Jones? The man's singular booming voice was enough to make him a Hollywood legend, per his incredible work in both Star Wars and The Lion King, but that's really just the tip of the iceberg. One of just 27 people to have ever achieved the EGOT, winning an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar and Tony Award, Jones had a storied career in theatre before he ever stepped in front of a camera with his screen debut in Stanley Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove. Outside of the aforementioned roles, Jones also gave unforgettable performances in Conan the Barbarian, Coming to America, Field of Dreams and so many more. James Earl Jones died on September 9th, 2024 at the age of 93. Number 14. Emmet Walsh. One of the greatest character actors who has ever lived, Emmet Walsh spent more than 50 years carving out a career as a reliable supporting player across well over 200 movies and TV projects. With memorable roles in so many popular movies, including The Jerk, Blade Runner, Critters, Blood Simple, Midnight Cowboy, Serpico, The Gambler, Ordinary People, Raising Arizona, and Knives Out, you're almost certainly familiar with the man's work, even if you don't know his name. Walsh's talents were such that late critic Roger Ebert coined the Stanton-Walsh rule, that no film featuring either Harry Dean Stanton or Emmet Walsh in a supporting role could be entirely bad. That really says it all. Emmet Walsh died on March 19th, 2024 at the age of 88. Number 13. Shannon Doherty. Shannon Doherty is best known for her 1990s TV work, particularly as Brenda Walsh in Beverly Hills 90210 and Prue Halliwell in Charmed, the latter of which endeared her to an entire generation of teen viewers. Her notable film roles were meanwhile relatively sporadic, though she did make memorable appearances in films Heathers and Mallrats and also showed up for a hysterical cameo in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Doherty spent the last decade of her life battling cancer, ultimately passing away before her plans to appear in a Charmed reunion could come to fruition. Shannon Doherty died on July 13th, 2024, at the age of 53. Number 12. John Ashton. John Ashton is undeniably best known for his performances as Marvin Dorfler in Midnight Run and Detective John Taggart in the Beverly Hills Cop franchise. However, his more than 50-year acting career also saw him appear in innumerable hit TV shows, including Kojak, Columbo, MASH, Starsky and Hutch, Dallas, The A-Team, The Twilight Zone, King of the Hill, and so many more. Shortly before his passing, Ashton did reprise his role of Taggart in Beverly Hills Cop Axel F, giving a wickedly fun performance that served as a fitting capper to his life's work on screen. John Ashton died on September 26, 2024 at the age of 76. Number 11. Kris Kristofferson. Quite simply one of the coolest actors of all time, Kris Kristofferson came to prominence as an extremely popular country music singer-songwriter before embarking on a Hollywood career in the 1970s. Kristofferson's most recognizable roles include Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, A Star Is Born, Heaven's Gate, Lone Star, and in his late career period, the Blade trilogy, where he brought tremendous grit to the role of Abraham Whistler. He also received a Best Original Score Oscar nomination for his 1984 film Songwriter. As both a musician and an actor, Kristofferson touted a unique, irreplaceable presence that made him an undisputed pop culture icon. Kris Kristofferson died on September 28, 2024, at the age of 88. Number 10. Chance Perdomo. Fans were left reeling by the untimely passing of Chance Perdomo this past March. The chilling adventures of Sabrina and Gen V actor dying from injuries sustained in a motorcycle accident shortly before Gen V's second season was set to start shooting. It's clear from the British actor's small but memorable body of work that he had quite the bright career ahead of him, having received a BAFTA TV Award nomination for Best Actor in 2019 for his work on the TV film Killed by My Debt. The same year, Perdomo was also singled out as a BAFTA Breakthrough Brit. Perdomo's final project, shot a few months before his death, is the action comedy Bad Man, which is set to release later this year. Chance Perdomo died on March 29, 2024, at the age of 27. Number 9. Olivia Hussy. Olivia Hussy had an immediately magnetic and alluring screen presence, as evidenced by her unforgettable work in Franco Zeffirelli's 1968 adaptation of Romeo and Juliet, and as protagonist Jess Bradford in seminal slasher film Black Christmas. Only in recent years has Hussy really earned her flowers for being one of the horror genre's preeminent final girls, bringing strength and dignity to a central role that was wildly ahead of its time in 1974, predating even John Carpenter's Halloween. Though Hussy wasn't a majorly active performer for the last few decades of her life, she did notably lend her voice to 3 Star Wars games: Star Wars Rogue Squadron, Star Wars Force Commander, and Star Wars The Old Republic. Olivia Hussy died on December 27, 2024, at the age of 73. Number 8. Angus McKinnis. Though Angus McKinnis has more than 80 acting credits to his name across a career spanning more than 40 years, he will always be best recognised for his turn as John Dutch Vander, aka Gold Leader, in Star Wars A New Hope. McKinnis also got the opportunity to briefly reprise the role 39 years later, when archive footage from A New Hope was repurposed for use in prequel Rogue One, with McKinnis recording new dialogue for Gold Leader. Outside of Star Wars, McKinnis also appeared in, among many other films, Rollerball, Superman 2, Strange Brew, Witness, Eyes Wide Shut, Hellboy, and Captain Phillips. Angus McKinnis died on December 23, 2024, at the age of 77. Number 7. Tony Todd. Tony Todd had one of the all-time most iconic voices in not just horror cinema, but film and general entertainment media. His seductively gravelly vocal tenor lending instant menace to innumerable villain roles. Todd is of course best known for portraying the title character in Candyman, and William Bloodworth in the Final Destination franchise, while more recently he gave a pitch-perfect performance as Venom in the video game Marvel's Spider-Man 2. A few weeks after his death, the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle video game was released, where he portrayed the villainous Locust, and his final film role will be, quite fittingly, a reprisal of his Final Destination role in the upcoming 6th film. Tony Todd died on November 6, 2024, at the age of 69. Number 6. Teri Garr. Teri Garr was a comic actress and singer best known for her luminous performance in Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein and her Oscar-nominated turn in the terrific Tootsie. Elsewhere, she made an impression in Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind and the Michael Keaton vehicle Mr. Mum, while also appearing in The Conversation, The Black Stallion, One from the Heart, After Hours, and Dumb and Dumber. To younger audiences, Garr is surely best known for her 3-episode stint on Friends as Phoebe's birth mother. Sadly, Garr's career was cut short by a 2002 multiple sclerosis diagnosis, which ultimately prompted her to retire in 2011. Teri Garr died on October 29, 2024, at the age of 79. Number 5. Bob Newhart. Bob Newhart began his comedy career as a stand-up comic before transitioning into an acting run that would see him win 3 Grammys, an Emmy, a Golden Globe Award, and become one of the first recipients of the prestigious Mark Twain Prize for American Humor. For the better part of 2 decades, the actor was a TV institution, per his back-to-back starring roles in the legendary sitcoms The Bob Newhart Show and Newhart. He remained a regular presence in the world of TV up to his death, even winning an Emmy for his recurring role as Professor Proton in The Big Bang Theory. And cinematically speaking, who can ever forget his role as Papa Elf in Elf? Bob Newhart died on July 18, 2024, at the age of 95. Number 4. John Amos. John Amos came to fame with his work as an older Kunta Kinte in the miniseries Roots, and playing James Evans Sr. on the groundbreaking comedy series Good Times, the first sitcom to centre around a black 2-parent family in American TV history. Amos also turned heads with his brilliant work as Admiral Percy Fitzwallace on The West Wing, while in the realm of film, he had scene-stealing roles in both Coming to America and Die Hard 2: Die Harder. If you needed a veteran actor to show up and ream the protagonist out with 110% commitment, he was your man. John Amos died on August 21, 2024, at the age of 84. Number 3. John Capodici. One of Hollywood's all-time quintessential that guy character actors, John Capodici may not be known so much by his name, but his face is unmistakable. Even if you don't know it, you've definitely seen him in something. Capodici's 40-plus year career saw him amass credits in more than 150 movies and TV shows, perhaps most notably playing Sergeant Aguado in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective and Bob the Bus Driver in Speed. John also had guest spots in numerous major series, including Seinfeld, Murder, She Wrote, Murphy Brown, Knots Landing, 6 Feet Under, and Law & Order. John Capodici died on December 30th, 2024 at the age of 83. Number 2. Carl Weathers. Actors don't get much cooler than Carl Weathers, who brought enormous testosterone-fueled potency to the roles of Apollo Creed in the first 4 Rocky movies and Dylan in Predator. However, Weathers also proved himself an immensely versatile talent in later years, per his hilarious role as Chubbs Peterson in Happy Gilmore, an unforgettable fictionalized version of himself in Arrested Development, and as Greef Karga in The Mandalorian, for which he received an Emmy nomination. Carl Weathers also had 3 decades of TV directing experience to his name, having helmed episodes of the Hawaii Five-0 reboot, Law & Order, and finally 2 episodes of The Mandalorian. Carl Weathers died on February 2nd, 2024 at the age of 76. Number 1. Jenna Roland. Legendary Oscar-nominated actress Jenna Roland made waves with her all-time performance in her husband John Cassavetes' 1974 drama A Woman Under the Influence, and decades later continues to be championed as one of the greatest actresses of all time. Roland has 4 Emmys, 2 Golden Globes, and 2 Oscar nominations to her name, as well as an honorary Academy Award recognizing her statuesque acting career in 2015. Her most distinctive roles include Gloria, Opening Night, The Brink's Job, Another Woman, Night on Earth, Hysterical Blindness, and The Notebook, the latter of which was directed by her son, Nick Cassavetes. Decades from now, Jenna Roland's body of work will ensure she remains in contention with the most celebrated actresses that cinema has ever seen. Jenna Roland died on August 14th, 2024, at the age of 94.